So with regards to the PlayStation 5, the reason why I'm not buying any more games for it is because the PS5 are basically the actual physical console that you've got yourself is not going to last like the PlayStation 2 has or the PlayStation 3 has. Um, Purely because of the fact that the onboard SSD. Because once that onboard SSD dies, your console's fucked. It can't be repaired, unless, of course, you pay to have it sent to Sony, have it fixed, replaced, or whatever. But basically, once that SSD dies or the SSD controller dies, your console's fucked, and it's going to happen eventually because, like all other SSDs, it's got a finite life expectancy, and unless somebody's going down the board with the SSD controller and the SSD that they can take off and put onto your board, because you can't. The SSD and the SSD controllers are sort of married to each other, if you know what I mean. So, unless they've got down the board where they can take the SSD and the SS controller and stick it on yours, and it's still not a cheap thing to do. It's not like straightforward soldering. So you have to basically, you know, have a downer board if you're not going to Sony with it, to have them take it off and put them on the new board. You can't just take an SSD from a different PS5 and stick it on that board. You just can't do it. That's why I'm not buying any more consoles after the PS4. Because if they're moving that way, I don't want to know. You're better off having PC. And I mean, I bet you Sony could easily just fix this so that you could put your own NVMe drive in it and have them save the operating system and all that shit onto your own NVMe drive that you slot into it. But no, they've actually done it so it's going to install to that onboard SSD, which I don't agree with. One of the things I've always liked about the Sony consoles is the fact that you could just take any laptop hard drive and stick it into your PS4 or PS3, and it was fine. You just installed the software. That's why I stopped after the Xbox 360. I never bothered with Xbox again, purely because of that thing. Because you have to use their hard drives, and I don't think that's right. But now PS4 is pulling the same shit now with Sony, should I say, pulling the same shit with the PS5. It's fucking disgusting. Yeah, when you spent this much on a fucking console, I know I wasn't going to buy this console to start with. I just bought it primarily for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I'm not going to be buying a lot of games for this console at all. Oh, and there's some Neptune games that, as far as I know, only come there on Sony's platforms. So there's that as well. So yeah, that is why I'm not going to be bothering with any more consoles after this, because as far as I know, Nintendo's going to have the same problem. They've got their own issues anyway. They make great games, but fucking hell, some of their legal problems are a bit fucking shit. You got Xbox now basically saying that they're not really. There's a very good chance they're not going to be bothering with consoles later on down the line. It's just going to be in total live service thing that you can access through an Xbox or a PC. You got Nintendo sorting down all these fucking emulators left, right, and centre. That can, as far as I'm concerned, that can piss off. As much as I love their games, and you got this now PS5. I mean, you think about it. That's probably what's the PS Pro. I mean, if you want one with a disk drive, you're going to be paying what, £800 for it, for a console that, if you primarily use the onboard SSD, is going to have a shortened lifespan. So, if anybody's out there and you've got a PlayStation 5 and you haven't bought your own NVMe to slot into it, I suggest you do it. It's going to increase the lifespan of your console, basically. I don't agree with the way they've done this. I'll bet you they can find a way just to have it installed onto an NVMe drive that you pour into it, and that's fine. But they haven't released a console without that function, so I get the impression they're not interested in doing that, and they're probably not going to, which is BS. But yeah, that's basically why I'm not going to be buying any more consoles. Because that's the shit they're pulling it with. And at the price, you might as well give into PC building now. You're just going to get better value for money. And it's really sad because I used to love console gaming purely because it was the most affordable way of getting gaming. I'm like, it's ridiculous. I really cannot understand the mentality of this shit. But anyway, that's enough of me ranting. I'm getting fed up with this whole gaming industry BS. At least some oh, I forgot what it was now. There's some rule being put in place in some parts of the world, I think, to protect consumers in certain things with regards to the digital stuff. Oh, that was it. Yeah. These online digital service things are no longer allowed just to have. Bear in mind, this depends on like area to area. As far as I know, it's just California in America at the moment, but usually it has a snowball effect. But now you have to, if you buy off there, they have to tell you up front that you are not owning this game. It's just a license, and they have the right to take that license away. Um, that's pretty much it. Uh, Hopefully to be the first of many things to actually solve that, but I want to start moving this sort of ideology to a console now, because I've got the OG Xbox, it still works fine. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 still works fine. Xbox 360 still works fine, even though you do have to fork out for the specific hard drives for that. And again, once you start not getting the hard drives for it, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a way you can probably hack the hard drive to do it, but it's a long-winded way. It would have been just made more sense just to have a normal hard drive you could just slap into it. I've got a Dreamcast, that still works fine. PlayStation 3, that still works fine. PlayStation 4 base, that's still working fine. PS4 Pro, still works fine. PS5, working fine at the moment, but no way is it going to last as long as all those other consoles. Purely because of that onboard SSD drive. Anyway, that's about enough for me ranting. So before you buy PS5 console, or in fact a modern day console, have a really good think about it first, whenever it's actually worth it, because for the same money you can actually get yourself an okay PC that'll actually do more for you. That's what I would recommend. But anyway, that's Fantoval, Mimi Metal. I'll see you.